I woke up the other day to two things. A message from my friend saying he would be driving me to college when he hasn't even passed his test yet, and a notification telling me my favourite Roblox game was getting its full release. Before I tell you what game that is, let's talk a bit about Roblox as a whole. If you open up this glorious platform today, not only will you be greeted with a bunch of nonsense, but also an overwhelming stench, not from the nonsense but from the games itself. A stench so pungent, it'll land you in hospital in a guaranteed 33-year coma. The average gameplay of a modern Roblox game is this. Yep, that's correct, nothing. A lot of Roblox games you see on the charts are like this. You simply load into the game and immediately open a macro to play it for you, whilst you do literally anything else. Now, some of these games do have gameplay, but it tends to be really repetitive and is only really fun for like a maximum of a few days. But enough of that. Today we're going to be in our happy place, talking about one of the good games, Arcane Odyssey. Arcane Odyssey is an RPG game set in the Arcane universe, a world with a size comparable to that of One Piece. Originality is one thing Roblox is not known for. We have a serious drought of it, so this game is really a diamond in the rough, and was and still is refreshing to play. Arcane Odyssey is even PvE orientated. PvP being an option rather than a forced aspect is incredibly rare for most RPG games on Roblox. Now, what's more important for a game than Arcane Odyssey is absolutely chock full of content, from some of the most creative game features I've ever seen personally in a Roblox game, to even some of the most random shit, but the best kind of shit that only makes the game even more immersive or just more enjoyable. Now let's talk progression. RPG games on this platform are not known for being very good at this, they are terrible. It's mostly either bandit beaters where you beat up NPCs in one place, then go to the next place to beat up more of the same NPC, or a reskinned version of it. Maybe you might be lucky and that bandit beater game will give you the option to do a different kind of quest, which I could swear on my leg and not lose it. The developers purposely rig these things to give no fucking XP compared to the bandit beater quests. It's truly stupid because this ultimately kills your game quicker than just admitting it's a bandit beater. Luckily for us in Arcane, it's actually the opposite way round. There are barely any kill NPC quests in this game, and the only ones that are there aren't repeatable or in the story, which feels less intrusive, leaving you to do the other types of quests like fishing, delivering cargo, finding items, digging treasure, sinking ships, completing bounties, delivering items, unlock new crew members, quests. Yeah, something about quartermasters. Cook food, brew potions, craft jewels, and yeah, that's about it actually. Maybe some other smaller quests that I don't remember. You'll have to give me a bit of leeway. You'll have to give me a bit of leeway. I played this game a lot, but I don't remember everything. Now, moving away from quests, stats in Arcane are a weird but uniquely cool system. In most games, stats will increase damage and stamina and maybe health as you put more points into them. But this game likes to be as special and artistic as yours truly. Instead of being basic multipliers, stats in Arcane unlock skills and increase tiers of said skills. Now I'll quickly cover what these tiers mean, how they function, and the reason behind them. Tiers exist due to the super cool customization options of every single skill in the game, besides those found on weapons and relics. If you use magic fighting styles, you can edit almost every single skill to a certain degree. These changes can be anything from the size of the attack, the shape of the attack, the type, or even the amount, which basically just, it's how many times the attack attacks. These options aren't just cosmetic either, actually affecting damage or even speed sometimes. Now, I would love to go into the super in-depth explanation of how these tiers work, but basically it's a spectrum. The more points you invest, the higher the tier. These tiers are not levels that you unlock from having so much stat. They increase gradually through decimals, so you can actually have a tier 1.68 spell. You thought I was going to say the thing, didn't you? And finally, professions. Trainable passive skills that help with things like cooking, brewing, jewel crafting. Think of them as like the skills in RuneScape or even RLCs, if that game ever actually releases. All right. Arcane Odyssey has a lot of shit. So much stuff, in fact, that it feels like things just spawn in when you look away. Like these raidable towers that can spawn randomly practically anywhere. If you're lucky, you can even see these things being built by NPCs, which is kind of neat. That happened to me once. If I've got some footage of it, I'll show you. If I don't, then boo-hoo, you'll just have to find it yourself. Obviously, you can't forget the story either. It already has 9 chapters of story, and we're not even finished with the second sea yet, also known as the Nimbus Sea. There are 7 seas. I'm not even going to dare to try and spoil the story even the smallest amount. If you plan on playing Arcane Odyssey, don't rush the story. Make sure you read the dialogue and explore every inch of every island. There is so many little secrets you can find. There is also a bunch of story-driven joinable factions, like the Grand Navy, which is basically just the Marines, the Syndicate, Jura and a bunch more that I can't be bothered naming. Many of these factions also have ranks that may even give unique cosmetics and armor. You can also create your own guilds, or a clan, if you're a fat jud. Additionally, there's mini-bosses that can spawn on random islands or boats sailing around the war seas. The most recent update added a crap ton of these, all having either unique armor drops, weapon drops, or even sometimes both. Speaking of armors and weapons, Arcane Odyssey has a massive collection of these, maybe even more impressive than the collection you find in Elden Ring. That game has a lot of weapons, by the way. Easily hundreds of weapons and hundreds of armor pieces without even including the crazy of accessories. Arcane Odyssey truly does have a lot of content I'd love to cover, but I don't think I'm ready to make 20 to 30 minute videos yet. I'm not exactly the funniest person, and I still need a little bit more practice. So, to make it up for you, I'll go extra in depth on this next little bit of content. And get ready for this, because it's pretty scary. The Dark Seas! My friends are going to clip that. Instead of Arcane Odyssey having the old invisible border or an empty, infinite ocean, instead we have the Dark Sea. 6 zones that surround the entire map that contain randomly generated islands, ships, enemies, and more. Currently, this part of Arcane is considered endgame, normally requiring either an upgraded ketch or even a basic brig, which is the largest ship in the game, costing over 2,000 drachma, or galleons. I prefer to call it galleons. It used to be called that before full release. It's also not recommended to go into the Dark Sea below level 20, even if you have someone you know who has a brig, unless you're a masochist, because of the Atlanteans that roam the islands, and the big fuck-off sea monsters. Atlanteans are people who got lost in the Dark Sea and slowly lost their humanity, being brain-rotted by magic pollution, now attacking anything they see without a second thought. Did I mention that the Dark Sea exists because of a big-ass magic explosion? No? Well, now you know, and it's also the cause of why it fucks things up that enter it, and it also impacts the weather very severely. Now, why should you bother going to the Dark Sea? Well, see these chests? Yeah, they have a lot of good shit in them. You can get them from daily quests as well, but it takes a while, and you're not guaranteed to get one. These things contain tier 2 enchants, which basically are better versions of the enchants you can get from the enchanter guy. And if you want the best gear, these things are kind of required. The Dark Sea is all about high risk and high reward. The higher the zone you go into, the better loot you can find. Well, the quicker you can find it. You can find the majority of loot in the first zone, but you find it quicker. Unless you're looking for something known as a Hecate Essence, which is required to reset your magic. These are only found in the far reaches. Otherwise, you're looking at paying 2,000 Robux to reset your magic. One of the only things I don't really like, that's kind of expensive, Vertex. I think you should bring that down a little bit. Personally, I have an abusive and loving relationship with the Dark Sea. I've received just as much from the Dark Sea as it's taken from me. I either get really good runs with loads of chests, or I get killed by some random bullshit. Especially recently, with the Krakens. I've died twice to these things. They're really annoying, though I do recommend doing the Dark Sea if you play Arcane. It's a lot of fun, especially with friends. Anyways, you're probably just itching and fiending to test this game for yourself. But a fair warning first to all of you. This game has a fair amount of bugs, and it's the only real thing that really lets this game down. Some of the bugs are quite annoying, but if you just rejoin, they fix themselves. Other than that, this game is easily S tier or even S plus tier in terms of the Roblox games I've played. All links for Arcane will be in the description below. The game's link, the YouTube channel link, and links to any of the game's music I used in today's video. Because I kind of have to give credit, I think. I would give it credit anyways, because it's really fucking good. And if you haven't already, make sure you give the like and subscribe buttons a little teasing, because I know they love it. I'll see you in the next upload, a century from now. See ya.